Momentarily with our next press briefing.
All right, everybody, thanks for bearing with us tonight. This will be the last briefing for this evening. I do want to say that the airport is closed. It will remain closed tonight. We do anticipate it open and ready for operations first thing tomorrow morning. If you're flying, I would ask you check with your airlines. I would expect delays and cancellations tomorrow. We have been in contact with the NTSB. They will be arriving first thing tomorrow morning, and we anticipate an NTSB briefing sometime tomorrow morning before noon. Mayor?
Thanks, Stan. Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to send my prayers to the families of the victims of this tragic crash. Send my prayers to our entire UPS family across Louisville and across the country. UPS is such an important part of our Louisville family, and we know it's a tough evening as it will be in the days ahead. And prayers to all of Louisville. Another tragedy that we're dealing with together, but we will come together stronger. We will support those who have lost loved ones and friends, and we will move forward as we have in the past. As of right now, we know there are 4 confirmed fatalities, and we believe there are additional fatalities as well, and we're working to notify next of kin before we provide other confirmations on that, as well as additional injuries, many or all of whom have been taken to U of L Health, and they've provided some information on the people that they have treated this evening. But we still have first responders who are actively searching the scene right now, so we will continue to provide more information on victims as it becomes available. There are more than 100 firefighters on the scene from across the region that are still here, that are working to make it safe for everyone in our community, as well as that are searching for additional victims. There are still some hot spots where the crash took place and road closures as well. As has already been announced, JCPS will be closed tomorrow, and this is all schools across the entire district for tomorrow. They'll be making a decision about the following day, tomorrow, once they have more information. And one thing we want to say to all folks across the entire city, if there are people who you have not heard from this evening, if you believe family or friends or loved ones may be a victim, please do not go to area hospitals. We have a family assistance center that has been set up at the Louisville Metro Police Training Academy. That address is 2911 Taylor Boulevard. So if you still are waiting to hear from a loved one this evening, again, please go to 2911 Taylor Boulevard. I've also spoken with a board member from the NTSB who will be arriving tomorrow before 10 a.m. There'll be 28 folks from NTSB coming. They're sending a large crew to do the investigation and deal with this disaster. They've told me that under the Family Disaster Assistance Act will be triggered. which provides coordinated support between NTSB and the airline, which is UPS, for victims and their families. So the families should know that there will be support for them. UPS asked me to convey the same message this evening. They are going to be doing everything they can to support those that have been impacted by this horrible tragedy right now, and their thoughts, their prayers, their love is going out to all of the families of victims this evening. As the governor said earlier, there was no hazardous cargo on board. Emergency management is continuing to monitor the air quality, and this is another great opportunity to remind the entire community to please sign up for Lens Alert. That is a great way to get real-time information from our emergency management teams when unfortunate situations like this occur that may impact your safety. The current instructions are for everyone within a 1-mile radius of the site to shelter in place. We'll continue to update that as we have more information on air quality. And again, the National Transportation and Safety Board will be in charge of the investigation and will be the primary source of information about the investigation, why this may have happened and what happened. We expect that once they are on the ground tomorrow morning, we'll have another briefing with NTSB as well. And as Dan said, the airport is closed for this evening. It will be open tomorrow morning. I want to give a giant thanks before we bring up Chief Brian O'Neill from Louisville Fire Department. I also want to send a giant thanks once again to all of the first responders, to all of the firefighters and other first responders from around the Louisville area and around the entire region and state. Thank Mayor Gordon for sending in some equipment and individuals from Lexington to support as well. This is just, in times like this, it's just one of those opportunities to once again thank our first responders who are performing heroic work every day. But when you see it in such a tragic, large form, it's important to give public thanks as well. I also want to notify residents that might live nearby. If there's any debris in your yard, we hope to have we're going to have a form on our website at louisvilleky.gov. We hope to have that live in the coming minutes or an hour this evening. We ask that nobody touch any debris if there is debris from this crash on your property, but you register that online just as we do after other large incidents so that we can track that and come out. This is an incredibly difficult day for so many people, for our entire city. And once again, we'll be praying and sending our love and doing everything we can to support the families, the friends, everyone who has been impacted this. We'll be lighting the Big Four Bridge yellow in honor of the victims of the crash. And we ask that everyone continue to keep them in your mind and your prayers this evening. Let me now introduce Chief Brian O'Neill from the Louisville Fire Department to provide some additional updates. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, I want to make sure that I give a shout out. This was Okolona Fire Department. This was in their district. They were first on scene. They took command of this incident. They are still out there in command and handling everything. That's why I am here. Louisville Fire, as well as the rest of the county fire departments, are supporting and assisting with this incredible large-scale mass casualty incident. So I'm sure most people have seen the very dramatic photos and videos. That fire now is almost entirely contained. As I said earlier, when you have such a large-scale incident and fire that's spread over such a massive area, we have to use hundreds of personnel to surround it, contain it, and then slowly bring it in. That has happened. It is now safe enough that we are allowed to, we're able to take some of our firefighters, finish up with the spot fires, but create a formal grid to continue to search. So all of the affected area, we are now doing a formal search. This is, again, these are trained firefighters from all around the region that are handling this to search grid by grid very carefully to make sure if we can find any other victims. But also, as the mayor said, and I want to repeat this, if you see any type of debris, don't touch it. make sure you register it because we need to make sure that when the NTSB comes in, they can recreate it. Metro Arson is on the scene right now to help secure the area, to keep that scene as safe as possible. The other thing I want to reiterate is that although we have so many resources dedicated to this large-scale incident, we have brought in off-duty personnel to staff our fire stations to make sure that the rest of the city is still safe. So if there are any other emergencies that occur throughout the city, you are still protected, you are still safe, your firefighters are still on guard for you. Again, we watch this terrible video, we watch these horrible incidents. Just remember, please, those are real people that impacted. Let's take a moment to think about them and their families and their loved ones. And again, I have to give just a tremendous shout out to all the firefighters that are on the ground. I was on scene with them earlier today. They do amazing work. They have tremendous bravery. It's just, it's incredible to be a part of them. And they're going to need your support. This incident's going to be going on for a while. But thank you.
Thank you, Chief O'Neill. We're trying to provide you with all the information that they have. We're happy to try to answer a few questions this evening, and then we'll continue to provide any more information this evening or definitely first thing tomorrow morning.
So, Mr. Mayor, the governor is saying that now there are 7 confirmed dead. Have you heard that, and do you know how many people are on board the plane and how many of the casualties or injuries are from the ground?
There were 3 crew members on the plane. The 4 that we have confirmed dead are not on the plane. Again, we believe it will be 7 that we're aware of at this time. And as you heard from Chief O'Neill, there'll be others that are searching there. So that is consistent with what we believe. We're waiting to get final word that next of kin have been notified, but we wanted to get information out as soon as we possibly could.
Is there a certain number of missing that you have?
We don't have that information at that time. Again, if there are people that are missing, please go to 2911 Taylor Boulevard. Our understanding, though, is from the businesses whose property was impacted that they have accounted for the individuals that they're aware of in terms of their employees or people that were on their property, either accounted for them alive or as some of those 4 victims. We're not aware of any that are missing right now. That does not mean there aren't any, but right now we're not aware of any other additional individuals who are missing.
Is there any update on the nearby tank farms? Maybe a question for Chief O'Neill. We know that houses some recycled oil, and we don't know if that is still a concern currently or not.
It is contained and controlled. Yes, so there are some storage tanks there that have propane and oil. Some of those have ruptured. You might have heard there were some secondary explosions that were happening in that area. Some of that were small tanks. Some of those were actually the relief valves. So it can sound very scary, but that's a good thing. That means the relief valve worked and it didn't actually explode. It just is releasing that pressure. So yeah, all of that right now is contained. Now that's still going to be a mess in that area because of the fuel leaks and the oil, but that's we've got it all contained, but we'll be there for a while handling that scene.
You described this as a mass casualty event. How much worse, based on preliminary evidence, do you expect this? How much worse could this be?
That's something we don't know. As the mayor spoke, we've got this area that you've got a couple of businesses. We can't be 100% sure how many people were there. There are some other homes in the area, so we went to all the places that we could check once we were on scene. But then you have such a large-scale area that was impacted by that initial crash, and you've got a fire that's covering almost an entire city block. So we're going to very, very carefully make sure we go back and check. Obviously, we hope that there were no other victims, but we're prepared to find those, and we hope that we don't find any.
Mayor, you mentioned the JCPS closing. Have you heard from private schools and colleges in the area?
My understanding, I've not heard from all of them, but my understanding is that everyone else is open at this point in time. I don't have information other than JCPS being closed right now.
Do you have any information on how this might affect UPS headquarters across the world? I mean, obviously this is a world port for UPS, so any information on that?
I defer to UPS on that. I've spoken to several senior UPS officials, executives this evening. Our conversations were all about their support for the victims and their family, their commitment to work on the investigation to get to the bottom of this. And so I don't have that answer yet. I would direct that to UPS.
Mayor, this is going to impact a lot of people. What can the people of Louisville do to help those impacted by this disaster?
This certainly will impact a lot. Obviously, the victims that we have, their families, UPS, and having a tragedy like this in your backyard impacts all of us greatly. I know the feeling that I first got when I saw the plume of smoke, then when I heard what had happened and how my heart dropped. I know that everyone in Louisville had that same exact feeling. Tonight, as we simply ask for prayers and support for those who have been directly impacted by it and their families. There may be other things that they can be helpful on in the coming days, and we'll make folks aware of that. But we've just seen over the past week the outpouring of support in our community when we ask to help others who are having challenging times. You've seen that over the past week as people came together to donate to area food banks, to donate food to individuals that are going hungry, that are losing their SNAP benefits. I'm confident that once again in this tragedy, Louisville will come together, Louisville will show up and be there to support our fellow residents who are struggling at this time.
Is there any message you have for people across Metro Louisville or Kentuckiana in terms of helping, anything they can do to help or support?
Well, one other thing I'd like to add is if you need help, again, we've talked several ways about if there's debris in your yard to fill out a form, if there's somebody still missing, go to 2911 Taylor Boulevard. Let me also reiterate this phone number for family assistance, 1-800-631-0604, so that any families that are impacted can get the full support that they need and that they deserve. The final thing I'll say is, just as I was mentioning to Paul's question a minute ago, is this impacts everyone differently. And if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, please ask for help. These are challenging times enough that we're already living in. When there are tragedies like this, these are very difficult to process, to absorb, and then move forward. And so if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, please reach out. There are lots of resources available, whether it's talking to a friend, a family member, another loved one, or whether you need to speak with a professional. Please do, because in times like this, it can be tough. One or two more, and then...
I'm sorry. Do you know if UPS will be speaking to us, giving any statement?
I don't have that information right now.
With NTSB in town tomorrow, do we have any idea what, even just for neighbors who live around that area, what to expect over the coming days or even weeks potentially?
I'll let Dan answer that.
Yeah, NTSB is bringing in a full crew, 28 folks to start with. They'll hit the ground running first thing tomorrow morning, and they'll be working with all the mutual aid, all the first responders, collecting all the evidence. I expect they'll be here for several days putting all this together. And there'll be multiple briefings. The NTSB does a great job with those. So first one tomorrow morning, shortly after they arrive, and then I would expect several over the next few days. But this is going to be a long event. I think we'll be here for multiple days putting all the pieces together.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much. We're going to get back at it. We'll be here late into the early morning, and we will provide you information on briefing times tomorrow morning. When we have more information, when NTSB is on the ground, we'll provide that to you and continue to put out information to the public as soon as we have it. Thank you all very much. And again, please hold all of the victims and their families in your prayers this evening. Thank you all.